Hey everybody, this is True Disciple bringing you another StarCraft 2 commentary, and I am back from BlizzCon, and I have to say it was absolutely amazing. I spent pretty much, I'm going to say about 90% of my time, other than the opening ceremony and of course the closing ceremony to see Tenacious D, I spent the rest of my time just sitting in the front row of the StarCraft 2 area watching all of the games that were live cast there. And I have to say they were pretty amazing. And I also have to say I just want to. I really need to say that Day 9 is absolutely amazing. Before I went to BlizzCon, Husky was my favorite commentator, and he is still one of my top favorite commentators. But Day 9 in person, seeing him cast live with the confidence that he has in front of more than 1,000 people watching him while he's casting, and on live TV, knowing that there are thousands upon thousands more people watching the game live, just able to keep up with it and able to. I mean, I have trouble sometimes. Oftentimes I have to restart my games because I make a little mistake, and he is just able to do that live and sound really, really good. I mean, I was extremely impressed, I have to say. So shout out to Day 9 for extreme job casting, and a shout out to all of the players that played at BlizzCon. It was enormous. The players that played were just incredible, and of course the most amazing matchup that I saw the whole time there was definitely the Boxer versus Fruit Dealer games, which weren't even part of the tournament. They were just a show match, and they were absolutely incredible. I know that I was informed that the live stream got cut out, so if you didn't get a chance to see them, go find them and watch them. I'm sure that one of the other casters has cast them. I will cast them myself if nobody else has cast them yet. I'll check Husky and Day 9 sites and see, as well as HD StarCraft, Artosis, and all of the major casters to see if any of them have cast them. But once again, as I've said in many of my other games, I prefer to cast games that I have never seen. So, but that being said, let's move right into this game. My first cast after getting back from BlizzCon, I was told that this matchup was pretty good, so I am checking it out. It was sent to me by my friend XKraL, who is actually one of the players in the game. And so here we see that we have IbaneZ. I'm not even sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, so I'm sure I'll be corrected if I'm wrong. But IbaneZ playing the Red Terran, going up against XKraL playing the teal Protoss. So this is definitely, since it's not red-blue, we're not looking at a ladder match, so I'm assuming these players know each other, and especially since they're talking a lot, once again, in German, so whoever translated for me last time, if you want to translate for me again, please go for it. Let's talk a bit about these builds since I've been jibber-jabbering so much before it started. We see that we have a pretty normal build for XKraL. He probably threw down his gateway at 12 and getting his cyber core immediately afterwards, throwing down a second gateway, throwing down another pylon to watch the jump here for Reapers possibly. And we see, meanwhile, for IbaneZ that he did go for an early gas. He's getting a pretty early second gas on 22, and he has thrown down a factory right after his barracks, so we might be looking at a 1-1-1 build possibly here, unless he's going for a second barracks before the starport, would be my guess if he does that. Nope, he's going for a straight 1-1-1 build, and we see that the second gateway is up for XKraL, and throwing down a pylon in the back, making sure that no drops happen here in the back door without him being aware of them, and another gateway going down, so it'll be interesting to see if XKraL goes for his 4 gateway build, or if he's going to be going for the 3 robo. From the other games I've seen from XKraL, he does seem to favor the 3 robo, which personally, I mean, the 4 gate, it's kind of an all-in for me. 3 gate robo is a little bit more safe, and I definitely prefer that build as when I'm playing Protoss myself. So meanwhile, we see that IbaneZ smartly has his Marines positioned at his front door, and he is going to be building some medevacs. So looking like he's either going to be doing some kind of drop, or maybe he's just going to be using it as support for his Marines. And let's see what's going on. XKraL has the Xel'Naga Watchtower on IbaneZ's side of the map, which is an extremely smart move. He'll see any units like this one moving across the map. Now, IbaneZ didn't poke his head up here. I think it's very smart when you're sending out a scouting SCV. You always want to kind of poke, especially on this map. You want to poke up here, see what's going on here. Also, because it's going to give you vision. It's going to let you see what XKraL just saw. It's going to let you see that this scout is going by. So you see how XKraL was able to position his units. He probably would not have positioned his units here had he not seen that the SCV was there. Now the SCV is going to come up, and it's going to walk right into death. And there it goes. It's just going to go down in 2 shots, nothing it can do. Meanwhile, these troops are moving out. They were able to take out the scouting unit because they were able to spot it with the medevac, but XKraL is fully aware of them arriving. But let's see if XKraL, I don't know if XKraL is going to have what it takes. So he is going for the 4 gate. Surprise, surprise. I did not expect him to go straight for that 4 gate. I was definitely expecting a Robo. But he is going for the 4 gate, and so I don't think that IbaneZ is going to be able to take anything out here. I mean, he's going to take out a few units, but XKraL is just going to be able to produce units at such a quick rate. And here we see he's able to use the force field to be able to block off his ramp and keep them out. And he's got 4 gates, so he's gonna be able to throw that down. And I think that IbaneZ is gonna pull away as soon as he sees that XKraL has a 4 gate, because he has to know that against a 4 gate, there's no possible way he can hold his front door. And there he goes. He is moving out finally. It's dawned on him that, oh my goodness, we are looking at a 4 gate. I need to defend. And meanwhile, we see, especially now that IbaneZ has gone for the early expo. So, but I guess he is going to leave his troops here to kind of hold off the push of XKraL. But I don't think that's very smart, because you have to keep in mind that the units in general for XKraL move a lot faster, and he's going to be pushing back in. He's bringing up a few Marines, and I really don't know if this is a smart move for IbaneZ. If I were IbaneZ, I would definitely be pulling back in. He's throwing down a bunker right at the front door. He's going to try to push the contain on XKraL, and maybe after all, this is a smart move now that Siege Tech is complete. And I'm sorry for that, I don't have the production tab up. Stim is being researched. We have another Marauder coming out. We have High Templars already coming out, and I don't know if the Storm has been researched, but that is the Storm has not been researched. That is an extremely early Templar Archives, I do have to say. And if he's got a Templar Archives, then that means he's definitely got a hidden. Yes, he does, but he did not research anything. I was trying to see if he had researched the charge, because if he had researched the charge, then that would definitely be killer for IbaneZ. But IbaneZ throwing 2 bunkers outside of XKraL's front door, and he's got siege tanks to defend it. Siege tanks able to hit the high ground, able to spot with the medevac, and really only these stalkers that are able to do anything against that medevac spotting. So now at this point, I take back everything I said about IbaneZ. IbaneZ actually playing very smart, although I think that if XKraL had pushed at the right time, he might have been able to wipe out that small force that was already there, because they're so slow. And they would have to stay to defend siege tanks. The Marines probably able to escape from the Zealots and the sentries, but the stalkers are just so quick, able to catch up and snipe units, and then pull back when IbaneZ would turn around to fight. So let's see what's going on in IbaneZ. Meanwhile, in IbaneZ, oh, look at this. We have a little drop over here. Whoa, ho, ho, ho. What is this? I did not see this. XKraL taking a hidden expansion, harassing in the main, harassing at the expo with some of these zealots. And oh, who's gonna win here? Look at this. Oh, stimming away, able to stim away, and he's gonna be able to take that out no problem with 1 hit point left. This hero Marauder with 2 kills and 1 hit point, and a Raven out on the field. A Raven using his auto turret to defend. But this, he's got. Look at this. He's got a hidden pylon here. A 4 gate. With a 4 gate, you definitely always want to get a hidden pylon up. And he's got this hidden pylon. He has this hidden expansion, and IbaneZ is probably going to fall behind. Keep in mind that IbaneZ does have his expansion, and he's got his meals up. And probably in the income tab, if we check it, he is ahead. He is indeed ahead. But he's probably going to be sitting here thinking, oh man, I'm doing so great. I'm keeping XKraL from expanding. But little does he know that, XKraL has this expo up and running. And, he's only got 2 probes at it, and he will not be able to transfer any probes from his main, which is the one downfall of this. But he is throwing up a robotics facility, and maybe he will throw up a shuttle to be able to transfer some units. So, otherwise, maybe he is just going to do it to get an observer. So, but we see that these using the 4 gate efficiently to come in and harass some units, but I'm not sure how efficient. Although he is tearing up quite a lot. IbaneZ needs to pull these workers away and bring his Marines in. He's allowing way too many of his workers to die to this harass, and I have to say that overall this harass from XKraL has been extremely effective, because IbaneZ is just thinking, I don't know what's going on here. He thinks that he can just keep on mining while he's being harassed. I guess he doesn't want to give up his mining, but look, he's not even fully saturated in his main. He could have easily pulled those SCVs back to his main and mined there, and been a little oversaturated for some time. But there he just lost so many units, and if we check the units lost tab, we're looking at IbaneZ has lost 24 units compared to the 14 of XKraL. And while the resources are exactly the same, I'm going to assume that most of those 24 are indeed workers. So that's a lot of workers to be losing that early in the game, and that's going to affect the income in the long run. So meanwhile, we see that XKraL is now catching up, and I don't think that IbaneZ is aware. He still has this hold, this lockdown on XKraL's forces, but XKraL sitting here building up. He's getting his High Templars, and he's very smart. You know, when you go for the 4-gate, people tend to think 4-gate is an all-in kind of build. You're going to lose if you go for the 4-gate. But, and that's why he kept pushing here too. So meanwhile, he's going to move up. He's going to find this, there he goes. He has found this this pylon, and he's going to take care of it, no problem. But for IbaneZ is basically thinking, I've won this game at this point. You know, he went for a 4-gate, he failed with the rush, I've built up my troops, I've got my expo, I've defended it. I think that's maybe even why he got a bit lax with the SCVs, but he doesn't know that XKraL is catching up and will maybe soon pass him in resources harvested. In fact, I think a lot of the extra resources he's getting right now are due solely to these mules. But once the mules goes down, here we go. We got a forge, and we have ground level weapons being upgrading. And let's check the production tab. So Psystorm is done. We see that Kid